Hello, my friends. It is a chilly, chilly uh, fall day in California. The weather is finally changing, and I love it. Might be the only change that I really like, because we all know I don't like change very much. For anybody that views this as a video replay later, it did originally air as a live stream, so you may hear me interacting to comments in the live chat that maybe you can't see. I do my best to read the comment aloud so that when I respond to it, it has some kind of relevance. But sometimes I forget. So I am talking to people in chat occasionally. Um, Today we're going to talk about, the topic is the habit of being. And the the title of this kind of jumped out at me, and I didn't really know what the reading would entail. And I'm reading it from this book called Simple Abundance by Sarah Ban Bracknack, and she's wonderful. I've talked about her books before. Lately, I've been kind of alternating the themes between this book and one of her other books, and I wasn't really quite sure what the reading would be about. I think I had ideas of what I wanted it to be about, but at the end, I just try to release it. I try not to read too much of it before we actually go live on Tuesdays, because I know that historically, whatever the reading is, or when we do positive affirmations, whatever the positive affirmation is for that day when I pull a card, it's generally something I need to hear, whether I know it or not. And I've been, really busy lately getting ready for company and guests to come starting in just under a couple weeks here. And so I'm starting to feel that pull between, you're really excited, that you're going to have friends and, people that you love around, and that crunch time of, wanting to get everything just right. So I wasn't sure what I wanted the reading to be about. I was hoping it was going to be, maybe about the habit of being patient, or the habit of, being kind. And I read just a little bit of it today, and it's more about the habit of being present, present in the moment. And you hear about that a lot and talk about it kind of often, about how you have to stay present in the moment. Otherwise, you just kind of get lost, and you miss a lot of joy, and you miss a lot of opportunities if you're either living in the past, reliving regrets, reliving conversations, reliving arguments, reliving relationships that have long come and gone, or you're just worried about the future. You're worried about, you're projecting kind of into the future your own fears and your own worries, and you're missing the opportunity of now, the opportunity. If I'm worried about the future, I could miss something cute that my dogs do, and the opportunity to laugh and smile. I don't miss that very often because they tend to be on my lap. You can see one right there on the couch. Normally they're not far from me, but you can miss out a lot of opportunities. And if I'm sitting there worried about the future, I'm probably missing an opportunity to be proactive about whatever I'm worried about. If you're stuck in just a worry cycle, you're not being proactive about trying to find a solution or preparing for what if the worst thing happens that you're so worried about, right? Don't worry about it so much. Prepare a plan of action for if it's something that you can't control. Prepare a plan of action for what you're going to do if that, whatever it is, happens, whatever this apocalypse is that you've built up in your mind. Uh, Prepare a plan of action for it. Or if there's something proactive you can do instead of waiting to see if and what's going to happen, if there's something you can do to shift that to where you feel you have a little more control. You're missing out on that opportunity if you're stuck in worry. Because that's really what worry and fear is, right? It's generally based on something that is out of our control, which is scary. It's unknown. And we feel like, we feel like the outcome we're very invested in. But we don't feel like we can control the outcome. And but generally there's something that you can do. So if you step out of worrying about the future or reliving the past regrets or whatever, something that happened yesterday that's already come and gone, you can't change it, and you can step into the now, you're gonna maybe find an opportunity to laugh, maybe find an opportunity to have some relief, find an opportunity to visit with a friend, find an opportunity to be proactive about what you're worrying about. And no point in worrying about the past, it's come and gone. We've talked about that. It's very human to do it, but there's no point. It's almost as futile as worrying about the future. Except the future, if you decide to not just worry about it, and you decide to be proactive about it, and you decide to do something with what little control you have, even if the only control you have is to really try not to worry. You have a better shot, kind of worrying about the future, but worrying about the past is futile. You can't rewrite history. It's done. Once it's done, it's done. So, what I liked about this reading today, when I opened up the book and took a look at it, like I said, my hopes were for one type of reading based on the title, but ultimately I was resigned to understand that whatever the reading was about, it was going to probably be something that I needed to hear. And so it was. And, I plan these, I put them up on the calendar and I schedule them sometimes 3-4 weeks in advance. And then I generally don't take a look at the readings until the day of, the morning of. So, anyways, let's get to the reading about the habit of being and find out what that's all about. I did move my little microphone and camera cord, so hopefully I won't disconnect it like I've been doing with these new books. They're a little heavier and a little longer. So, okay, the habit of being. And Sarah always starts, at least in this book anyway, she starts her little reading with a little quote at the top. And this one's by Alfred Lord Tennyson. And he says, "So many worlds, so much to do, so little done, such things to be." Alfred Lord Tennyson. During her lifetime, 1925 to 1964, neither the camera nor the critics were very kind to Flannery O'Connor. She was as unphotogenic as she was unapologetic. The camera's harsh lens couldn't capture the intelligence, passion, imagination, exuberance, wit, and grace her family and friends knew and loved. For much of her adult life, the camera only recorded a body and face ravaged by illness. Her critics didn't appreciate her finely honed sense of the grotesque, that Southern specialty with all its satire, black humor, and pathos, nor her obsession with religion. She was a cartographer of the human soul, and her searing words gave expression to the yearning of misfits. The characters in her novels and short stories were forlorn and flawed, searching for redemption, whether they knew it or not. Redemption was a major theme in Flannery's work, as well as the thread that held her life together. There are some of us who have to pay for our faith every step of the way, and who have to work out dramatically what it would be like without it, she wrote, and if being without it would ultimately be possible or not. Her rural Georgia surroundings, coupled with her affliction with lupus at 25, the same disease that killed her father when she was a child, contributed to a deep sense of isolation, for she was unable to care for herself and lived until her death at 39 with her mother. But what her close friends remember best about Flannery was her determination to revere and savor the gift of every day. Her close friend and editor of her letters, Sally Fitzgerald, calls it the habit of being, a deep joie de vivre that animated her daily round. Flannery's passion for life, Sally Fitzgerald tells us, was rooted in her talent and the possibilities of her work, which she correctly saw as compensating her fully for any deprivation she had to accept, and as offering a scope for living that most of us never dream of encompassing. Her mornings were sacred, reserved for her writing, but the rest of the day was devoted to being Flannery. The habit of being, the exaltation in the present moment, is an exquisite concept, one that can enrich our lives beyond measure. We're all habitual creatures, but usually we practice the habit of doing, getting up, making breakfast, getting children off to school, and getting ourselves to work. Then there are the habits of brooding, projecting into the future, dwelling on the past, nursing old wounds, holding imaginary conversations, indulging in comparisons, conducting endless mental calculations about money, gnawing on regrets, second-guessing inspiration, ruminating on problems at work, anticipating the worst. The habits of brooding are rooted in the past or the future, and they can rob the present moment of all harmony, beauty, and joy. But what if, as curators of our own contentment, we deliberately cultivated the habit of being, a heightened awareness of real life's abundance? The habit of being is a grateful appreciation for the good surrounding us, no matter what our circumstances might be today. What if you knew there was always going to be a simple pleasure to look forward to every few hours? What if you made sure there was? How do you think you would greet the day? Flannery O'Connor generously offered struggling writers advice. To one she wrote, "Wouldn't it be better for you to discover a meaning in what you write rather than to impose one? Nothing you write will lack meaning because the meaning is in you." I believe this passion for discovering meaning extends to the art of every day as well. Once you commit to cultivating the habit of being, nothing in your daily round will lack meaning, because you'll discover that the meaning is within. I love so many parts of that. Well, hi, Ronnie Lynn. Hi, Nat. How are you two? I could see out of the corner of my eye the chat moving. But obviously, I was in the middle uh, of the reading. I love that how it said that, you know, most of us practice the habit of doing um, all the things that have to be done. Um, and then there were all those examples, you know, getting up, breakfast, make the bed, get the kids to school, get yourself up to work, laundry, whatever it is. We just get kind of absorbed in the habit of doing, and oftentimes while we're doing all those things that need to be done, of course your mind doesn't shut down. You can get into the habit of brooding um, about the past, and you know, having the imaginary conversations, you know, what you wish you would have said, or brooding about the future, worrying about that. But rarely do we kind of indulge ourselves in the habit of being. And I loved how Flannery O'Connor's friend said that, you know, to Flannery, her mornings were sacred, right? They were for her writing. But once she was done with that, the rest of the day was dedicated to her just being Flannery, to her just being herself, and doing whatever, I guess, whatever she felt like, and enjoying the rest of the day and whatever it held for her. Natalie says, Natalie says, yeah. That's why she didn't say hi at first. Um, Something good here. How are you? I'm doing well. I hope you are too. I hope everybody's feeling well, and everything's, you know, everything's as it should be here. Lots on my to-do list, so I'm going to be in the habit of doing very shortly after I get off this. But I love that idea of the habit of being, and just really being present, to take in the good or the bad. You know, not just because you're in the moment doesn't mean every moment is going to be sunshine and puppy kisses, right? Or a cat purring on your lap, right? Sometimes in the moment, as I know happened to Ronnie a couple weeks ago, her cat ran across, knocked over her, you know, tray with her lunch on it, sent everything spiraling, and that was in the moment. Then she had to jump into the habit of doing, right? She had to pick all that stuff up. So just because you're present in the moment doesn't mean that it's going to be all sunshine and bliss and, you know, unicorns and cotton candy. Can't be that way, right? No matter how much we all like it. But at least if you're present, you won't miss the good stuff. Bad stuff's going to come what may. You won't miss the good stuff. So I needed to hear these words coming out of my own mouth. I needed that reading today because I have been very caught up in the future and what's going to happen, and you know, and just getting ready, and you know, so I've been you know, and I think it's this way for all of us as the holidays come, right? We know the holidays are coming every year. They roll around right about the same time, right? But yet there's always that panic and that crunch. I think as soon as November 1st ticks, I think, oh God, oh my God, I gotta get the turkey, and I gotta get that. Oh, Ronnie Lynn says, and mustard's hell to get out of carpeting. Mustard is hard to get out of anything, but there are things that you can do to get it out. So Google it. When in doubt, I Google. But yes, mustard is hard. And mustard always seems to be drawn to light colored fabrics and things, doesn't it? It's just the way it goes. But who can live without mustard? I can't. So, anyways, I've been feeling the crunch and the rush and the kind of internal panic as the holidays get closer. What you know, what can I do? What can I prep to kind of make myself feel better? What do I still need to get? What? And I feel like that kind of happens from, like I said, about November 1st till about January 3rd, and then it's like, whew, made it through another round of holidays. But and I don't think I'm alone. Not that I want anybody else to feel that way, but I don't think I'm alone in that feeling. What are these two doing? They're trying to. One is on. You see, Coco's over on the chair, and she's trying to interest Jemima, who's on the couch. She's trying to interest her into coming over there and seeing what she's doing. And really, all she's doing is being a knucklehead. Really. So, anyways, I was feeling particularly like a little stressed out about all that this morning. I started to kind of not have a very good day, like what I did to myself on Monday. I just got so inside my head that my day kind of tanked. And I thought to myself, God, I'm not in a very good headspace today to even do the positive affirmations live stream. And thought, no, I thought I'm gonna get it together, and I got to I'm gonna pull out something from my joy jar, and that what I actually pulled out, I tossed it back in, so I probably won't pull it out. I actually tossed in what I had written down that Natalie had said when we made these joy jars, and I won't be able to find it now that I want to find it, but it said, "You're one of a kind," and that was from Nat. And this one said, this one I just pulled out says, "You're very encouraging," and that was from Sarah Painter. And I thought, oh, well, get it together, girl. Just get it together. Rylan says, "Oh, sorry to hear that, Annette." No, hey, look, I'm not the only one that's done it to themselves, right? Just mentally got myself kind of worked up into a funk, mentally and emotionally. And then I don't want to do anything, which only adds to the panic that I'm not doing enough with the holidays coming. So that's okay. Because you know what? It'll all get done before it needs to. And I just have to remember that, right? I just have to remember that. But I'm not the only one. So I just have to, this reading was important for me to remember to just not worry about tomorrow, not worry about Thanksgiving, not worry about Christmas, not worry about anything that is not right in front of me, and just to be really present here today and do what I can do, and the rest gets rolled over to another day. It'll all get done. But of course, that's overwhelming. If I'm worried about something 3 weeks from today, I can't do anything about 3 weeks from today. All I can do is make sure I have bought the turkey and make sure I, got the stuff that needs to be done for Thanksgiving. And if I haven't, put it on a list. That's all I can do about 3 weeks from today. If I'm going to sit and dwell and worry about it, of course I'm going to get into a funk. Of course I'm going to feel overwhelmed. Of course I'm going to feel discouraged. Of course I'm going to feel inadequate because I can't fix what isn't in front of me, right? And I've done all I can do. So, right. Natalie says, my favorite affirmation is now I am awesome because of a friend and bro, Patrick from Canada, said this once to me. Yes. So I am awesome. Yes, you are, Natalie. And Patrick, if it's the Patrick that I'm thinking about from Canada, is he's a real straight shooter and a really cool guy. And so I would take whatever he said to heart. And I hope that you put that in your joy jar. So the days that you're feeling less than awesome, you can get that little reminder, right? Because we all need that. We all need that. And you probably can't talk to Patrick every day when you're having a bad day or you need to be uplifted, but you can get that message from him if you put it where it's handy for you and where you know to get it, right? Sometimes I think I reach for this joy jar more than I reach, you know, for the alleviation for all the aches and pains I get from being just an old biddy. So, well, Patrick's absolutely correct, and you are incredibly awesome and kind, and I just adore you. So good for you, and good looking out, Patrick, for saying that. You taped it when he said it. Well, there it is. Put it on a loop. And put your earbuds in at night when you go to sleep. Just listen to it over and over and over and over and over again. You know, then you'll just get up and just know it, right? No matter what, you just know it. But it's important to remember that whatever's going on in your day, even Monday, when I really kind of just shot myself in the foot, right? The day probably would have been perfectly fine if I had just stayed in the moment and not been worried about this, that, or the other thing. But what's important to remember is even when you're having those bad days or shoot yourself in the foot because you gave yourself the bad, just because you're having a bad day doesn't change the fact that you're awesome. It doesn't change all the good qualities about yourself. You're just having a hard time remembering them, right? Because you're in a funk, like in a funky fog. And when you're in a funk, it's really hard to see the good in most anything. I was having a bad day, and I was down in my studio, doing stuff that I love. But because my brain wasn't in it, my energy wasn't in it, and I was here and I was there mentally, the things I was doing down there weren't going right. And that started to get frustrating, and it was kind of like a snowball effect, right? And what I really should have remembered is that any day spent in that studio is a great day, no matter what's going on. It's a really good day if I'm down there. So I'm going to remember it this afternoon when I go down there right after this, that no matter what happens, it's a good day because I'm down there, and I'm so fortunate to have that space. But that's hard to remember. Those things are hard to remember. all the time. So that's why our joy jars and our positive affirmation cards and those kind of rituals and habits that we're hoping to try to build, these little seeds that we've kind of planted when we've done these on Tuesdays, when we've done these streams on Tuesdays. We're trying to get into the habit and the ritual of accessing the good stuff and reminding ourselves of the good stuff and reminding ourselves that whatever's going on, we're strong and we're capable and we're awesome and we're going to make it through it. So we're trying to, because it's a new thing for us, and we're trying to get to the habit of, as much as if when you have a headache, you go reach for an aspirin, you start to kind of, or you wake up like that. I woke up like that, or I'm just like, right? Get into the habit of reaching for something that's going to make me feel better and something that's filled with truth. Because that's what's important. And if you're brooding and you're worrying about the past, or you're fretting and worrying about something that may or may not happen in the future, it's not really based on truth, or even if you're reliving the past and you're rehashing a conversation and thinking about what you should have said, that's not based in truth either, because that's not what really happened. So I know no matter what's going on, I reach for this, and these resonate truth for me, and they're covered in kindness and support and love, and that's a great thing, even if you're not having a bad day. That's just going to make a good day better, right? So, I think that's about it for today. I am going to get down to that studio to not remember what the topic is for next week, but then I won't be around for a couple weeks because Ronnie Lynn will be here visiting for 2 weeks. So there'll be 2 Tuesdays where I'm not around because I'm going to be being present with my friend, right? We're going to be doing our own things. So next week will be here, but then for 2 Tuesdays won't be, and then Ryan says only 1.5 weeks till you get here. That is for sure. It is coming. The 23rd is coming, and so is Ronnie Lynn. Ronnie Lynn will be here on that couch, I'm sure, in front of that TV, binge watching movies when we're not frolicking through the museum in Old Sacramento and going out to eat and doing all those kind of things. Okay. Natalie says, "Oh no, Ronnie with me." Yes, Ronnie will be here. And if I get my new phone, because my phone that's having problems right now, I do not trust to live stream. But Ronnie and I are going to take a little jaunt north of here, kind of halfway between here and Tahoe. Really cute little town. So going to a bed and breakfast up there. Just a quick little trip, up there and back, overnight trip. I might do a live stream from up there while we walk through that little town, because it has some really cute little shops and stuff. Teeny little town. Well, it was a teeny little town last time I was there. But anyway, so next week we'll be here, then for 2 weeks won't. And if I do a live stream when we're up there at Sutter Creek, it's called, then I'll post that on the live stream events channel and the calendar. Okay, listen, thank you for joining. I hope you got what you needed out of this reading and today, And I will see you guys next week. And Ronnie and Nat are giving each other a hard time in the chat. And really, Ronnie, Nat's just jealous that she's not going to be here with us. But maybe one day. You never know. You never know. All right. Thank you guys for coming. Listen, remember this as you go through your week. Never let anyone dull your sparkle, especially you. And if that sparkle does start to dull, reach for the things that shine it back up. Okay? And I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye-bye.